Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Recently on my YouTube I asked you what type of videos you want to see more in upcoming future, and that was flight attendant stories, vlogs or hauls. And majority, I think 64% answered flight attendant stories. Okay, so you asked, I deliver. We all know that flight attendant job is just like a walk in the park, bed of roses, and it's so easy. People are always super nice. Everything goes without any unplanned moments. It's just perfect. Well, none of this. None of this, not at all. If you think that that's how flight attendant work looks like and that's how your life will be when you become flight attendant, you should look for another job. During these 4 years of flying, I had so many unbelievable stories that I don't even know sometimes which one to choose to tell you. I didn't mention none of them when I was still flying, when I was still working, because, you know, company policy is quite strict and I didn't want to talk about many things, neither I could talk about many things. So now the time has come to share a bit more of what life flight attendant looks behind the scenes. In today's video I want to share one of those stories, and you have read that right, correct. I made a guy go to jail. I mean, not without a reason, of course, that was a reason to it. And let's start with the whole story from the beginning. As I said, a flight attendant job is not that you are always surrounded with nice people. You are not always surrounded with well-mannered people, with people who knows how to behave. Especially Middle East is a huge airport and huge transit spot. You have people from all over the world, more than like in some regional airlines or just in Europe, I would say. And they're a big transit airport between east and west, and this is like commotion and mixture of everything. So there are different cultures, different background, different behavior, different ways of people handling stuff. So yeah, as I said, you're not always surrounded with nice people, with well-mannered people, with people who knows how to behave, neither with people who always know how to handle alcohol. And alcohol sometimes can be a reason to many type of commotions, because not everybody obviously knows how to drink. In Middle East, and especially in these airlines that I used to work for, those are very top high-class airlines, as you know. They offer everything on board. You have everything, unlimited, including alcohol. And that can be a good thing for people who just want to chill, have a glass of champagne or two or three or wine, relax, enjoy the journey, have a moment, have an experience, go to sleep, and that's it. But some people who have an access to unlimited alcohol, including spirits like vodka, whiskey, they behave like they have never seen alcohol in their life. And they think that they have to drink the price of what they paid for a ticket in that alcohol. Like they have to literally eat everything that is on board, drink everything that is on board because it's free, because they paid for it. So they behave like they came from the bush and they haven't seen anything. They want everything back. And that sometimes when when that behavior is about alcohol, sometimes doesn't end up very well. And I witnessed that quite often. So that story took place on the flight from London to Abu Dhabi. There was a guy traveling, and that is the funny story, with his wife and a son, to make it even more twisted. So he was basically with his family, and he was traveling somewhere else. Abu Dhabi was not his final destination. He had a connecting flight. I'm not going to mention his nationality because it doesn't matter. But from the moment we delivered the service, he started drinking. He had one drink during the meal. Before I even finished a service, he asked for another drink. When I was doing clearance, he asked for another drink. So he kept on asking, and that was whiskey all the time. So, you know, like strong alcohol. And for those of you who don't know, being up high in the sky in this altitude makes you feel the effects of alcohol faster than when you are on ground. So he kept on asking, and then we already could see that he's getting a little bit tipsy, so we were trying to delay, because in these airlines you can't say no to passenger. You can only like delay alcohol service, but you can't refuse. So we were delaying, but then he kept on coming to the galley, and for some reason he chose me as his favorite crew, so he always kept coming to me, and he asked me for a drink, and he asked me for a drink, and okay, I was serving him those drinks, and then with every drink he was becoming more friendly, more, you know, a little bit more than normal behavior should be. So then he kept to the galley, and he was like touching me, grabbing my arm in too friendly way, coming too close to me, like almost like literally trying to hug me or like touch me, always touch me for some reason, like, you know, to become physical. I understand that this is the behavior of people sometimes who, when they become tipsy, they become touchy, you know, they become like all over other people and so on. But there is no reason why I should tolerate that and I should take that from a man who's a stranger. So I told him kindly and politely and nicely to stop doing that. Stop touching me. Like, do not touch me. Like, if you want to have anything I can serve you with, yeah, just let me know, but don't touch me, you know. So I told him that twice. Then he kept on coming, and then he's still doing that. And then the other crew, which was male crew, told him off as well, politely, like, stop doing that. This is inappropriate. This is, you can't, whatever you want, you can't keep touching the crew. So he asked him to go back to his seat, because he was in my way all the time. He was all over me all the time, and that became to feel really too much. Like, you know, he's not the only passenger on board. There are so many people to take care of. He was taking too much of my space. Yeah, long story short, his behavior was crossing the line, and he was being too much, to the point it was really uncomfortable. It was disturbing my duties. I could not focus on other people as well, because, you know, it's 380 aircraft, Airbus 380 double-decker. It's almost 500 people on board this aircraft, so you can't focus all your attention on one person. There are other people. You have to be vigilant, whether somebody is maybe not feeling right, maybe, you know, there are so many things. Anyway, so this male crew asked him politely to go back to his seat, and we started preparing another service. And then he pressed the call bell, and he was in my area of responsibility, so I went to answer his call bell. Of course, he wanted a drink, and yeah, I said I'll get back to him. And then when I'm passing next time, this seat, like, he was sitting quite inboard. So his wife was sitting next to the alley. He was sitting in the middle, and his son was sitting here. And at that point, when I was passing, this seat was empty. Like, his wife must have gone to the bathroom, and this was empty. So he called me, and it was night, so the lights were off and everybody was sleeping. So he was like, come closer. So like, he doesn't want to wake up other passengers. So he made me to come closer. So I bowed down a little bit to hear what he wants to say, and then he said, like, come closer. So I came closer. I said, come closer. I came closer. He grabbed me by my bun, by my hair. Like, we used to wear a hair in a bun. So he grabbed me by my bun, pulled me towards him, and kissed me, like, in my face, like, kissed me here, not in my lips because I turned my face, but he kissed me here. That was the moment I reached my patience with this guy. It was really too much, and I thought to myself, I was already tired, I was already exhausted. It was a very hard flight, not only because of him, but it was very busy, you know, lots of work. London's flights are famous to be a place where you work your butt off. It's really, really busy, very demanding passengers, and lots of work, lots of service to deliver as well. And that was almost the end of the flight. I was already tired of dealing with him the whole flight. And then what he did was like crossing the line completely. Like, he grabbed me by my hair, pulled me, in and kissed my face. It was really too much. I said to myself, why do I have to deal with something like that? I can't take it any longer. So I went to cabin manager, I told her what happened. She told the captain, and everybody was very, very supportive, and they all agreed on the fact that he really crossed the line. So captain called me to the cockpit, and he said that he will call authorities and that they will wait for the guy at the airport when we land, and they will arrest him. This is harassment, this is invasion of somebody's privacy. It's really, really invasive to touch someone, to grab someone by the hair, to pull, to kiss. Like, this is really too much. Like, guys, I'm at work. I do not have to be exposed to this type of behavior. And I was really glad that my company stand up for me and was on my side, and that they said, enough, we don't tolerate something like this. You're a passenger, you paid for the ticket, but nothing gives you right to harass the crew this way. This is really too much. So when the captain said that he will get arrested, I was a little bit taken back by that, because I didn't expect that it will go to that it will come to that. And he said that that's what he deserves, because he's been warned a couple of times not to touch me, not to come too close, not to be too friendly as he thought he is, and do not cross the line. But yet he did. So his behavior escalated. So if we will not draw the line there, God knows what he will do next, because it was escalating all the time. Anyway, so when we landed, authorities were waiting for him. His wife and his son were told what he did and that he will be arrested, and they were all in shock. And then he was really, really scared, because he didn't expect that. But what makes you think that you are a passenger and you can do this type of things? I understand that his way of thinking was affected by the fact that he had too much to drink. But then, if you don't know how to drink, you can't handle yourself while you're drinking, then do not. Especially do not these type of things, and don't make complete idiot out of yourself when your wife and son, you're traveling with your family. So I wonder what his wife had to feel when she came back to her seat, and then she was told by cabin manager what happened when he did. Anyway, so after the flight was finished, he was arrested. I was held as well to tell my statement. But you know what I appreciate so much about my company? That they didn't leave me alone to deal with that. Captain stayed after the flight in his own private time to go with me to the police station, for me not to feel overwhelmed with that. It was the middle of the night already. I had a tough flight, I had a tough day. This happened. Then after the whole duty, not only I'm not going straight back home, but also I have to go to police to give statement and to do all that. It was already like past 2 a.m. probably. But anyway, he went with me. The police station was right at the airport, and needless to say that the guy has connecting flight, as I mentioned before, so his connecting flight was cancelled, and his family decided to stay with him, of course, so they lost their tickets as well, and they have to rebook it by themselves as well. Yeah, so then when I gave my statement, he gave his statement. He didn't deny anything, he admitted to everything, but he was like, I didn't know that it's something wrong about it. Like, how can you not know there is something wrong about it? Like, would you try to harass this way a woman in a bank if you go to apply for a mortgage or anything? This is unacceptable regardless of where you are. Anyway, so they asked me if I want to press the charges against him, and then he would have a trial, and then he would probably end up in jail. And then we were separate, of course. Then they made me talk to him. Then he was apologizing so much when he realized what he has done and what consequences are there. He was not in his country, he was in a foreign country where the law is strict, and the law is supporting women, regardless of what people think in the Western world. Middle East is a place where women's rights are really respected, and if you complain for this type of harassment, the consequences will be met for the person who did that. So I asked the policeman what are the consequences for him, so he would probably end up in jail. I don't remember for how long did they say, but long enough. And then, but that would be if I press the charges. And I was thinking about it, like the guy was like, he sobered up immediately. He was completely sober. He was very, very apologetic, and he was full of regrets, and he realized what he has done. And probably, I don't even want to know what his wife gave him after this drama. I wonder if they're still together after this. Anyway, so I thought, yeah, he crossed the line really, but I thought to myself, does he really deserve jail? Because, you know, if he, I don't know where he was traveling, maybe somewhere for a holiday, for a short time, if he end up in jail there, his whole life will be ruined. He will lose his job. His wife will probably divorce him because of that, or maybe not, but anyway, it's so many consequences other than this. I know it's not my place to be worried for him, but I thought, like, is it really worth it? And I think that being arrested and losing his other tickets and facing all this drama, maybe it's enough of the lesson for him. He doesn't need really necessarily go to jail, especially that he was really, really, really apologetic, and I could see truly that he regrets. And I don't know if he regret what he did. Maybe he regretted the consequences that he might have. That's a different story, probably consequences. But anyway, I thought to myself, finally, you know, I feel sorry for his family, and I feel sorry for the whole situation. And I think that being arrested and spending the night sorry, my battery died. So I came to the conclusion that being arrested, spending the night in jail will teach him enough lesson, and no reason for a trial, no reason to put him in jail and probably have his life ruined. So the policeman said that he's very lucky that I'm so forgiving and I'm so willing to forget about the whole thing, and so he will not meet further consequences, which could have been much worse than that. So yeah, long story short, that is what happens sometimes on board. That's what you have to deal with as a crew. Sometimes, of course, this situation doesn't happen very often, but there are many more different situations that you would never think that could be your part, that could be something that you would experience or live. Yeah, so that's what happens when people don't know how to drink, they can't handle alcohol, and they don't know how to behave. But anyway, I'm really glad how it all ended up, because my company supported me and stood up for me, and they were all very supportive and very, very good. So that's it. That's the story of sending a passenger to jail. And if you want to hear more of crazy stories that happened to me during these 4 years of working as a cabin crew, let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to be notified about more upcoming content. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.